I'd like to call the Monday, March 2nd, 2026 Oakwood City Council meeting to order. Would you please rise and join me with the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a roll call, please, Lori?
Mayor Duncan?
Here.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Here.
Mrs. Turbin? Here. Mrs. Jackson? Here. Mr. Dorff?
Here.
And may I have a report on the minutes of our February 2nd, 2026 regular session and work session, and our February 23, 2026 work session. Councilmember Dorff.
Yes, I recommend approval of the minutes as corrected. And again, thank Lori for taking the minutes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. So ordered. Under status reports, we have, as we talked about at our last meeting, various volunteer council committees or citizen committees, and we have both some reappointments and some new appointments, and I'd like to go over those now. We on our Board of Zoning Appeals, we'll do the reappointments first. Don O'Connell has agreed to serve another term on the Board of Zoning Appeals. On our Budget Review Committee, that's each of the 8 precincts we have 4 members in each of those precincts. Sarah Wechter in Precinct A has agreed to serve again. Megan O'Leary in Precinct C, and Erica Ensley in Precinct H. They have agreed to serve an additional term on the Budget Review Committee. On our Personnel Appeals Board, Abby Riedel and Phil Whitmer have agreed to serve another term. On our Property Maintenance Board, Michael O'Connell on Precinct G has agreed to serve an additional term. And then on our Tax, Water, and Sewer Appeals Board, Jan Scheid and Ellen Fodge have both agreed to serve an additional term on that committee. And then new appointments on the Board of Health. Abby Riedel has agreed to serve on our Board of Health. Under the Budget Review Committee, we have a new member in Precinct F, Curtis Farnzel, and he's looking forward to serving. On Property Maintenance Board in Precinct F, David Chesser has agreed to serve. And on our ADA Compliance Committee, Rob Stevens has agreed to serve on the ADA Compliance Committee. So we still have a couple vacancies on our Budget Review Committee, and we are interviewing some candidates for the Planning Commission. And once we have that person or persons put together, we'll bring that back to fill out our appointments at our next council meeting. So I would make a motion that we accept these new appointments as well as the reappointments, and would ask for a second.
Second.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Hearing none. Lori, would you call the roll on that for us as well?
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mrs. Turbin?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Dorff?
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes our status report section of our meeting. We will now go to the visitors portion of our meeting. That's where anyone who wishes to address council could come down to the podium here and state their name and address for the record and can address council, and we would welcome you. And I think we have a visitor. Welcome. Come on down.
Thank you so very much. Good evening. I won't be before you long. To the mayor, to the vice mayor, to the members of council, thank you very much. My name is Norman James Scarce, and I wanted to introduce myself as a candidate for Montgomery County Commission. I'm the husband of 1 wife. I'm the father of 3 children. I'm a small business owner and pastor in the city of Trotwood. I'm a lifelong resident of Montgomery County. And I wanted to tell you that we have a unique opportunity to stop doing what we've been doing in Montgomery County for the better part of 25 years. We need commissioners who value the unique relationship between Montgomery County, its townships, and its municipalities. And that includes my commitment to no new taxes and making sure that commissioners no longer have the opportunity to raise taxes in our county without voter approval through inside millages, which allows for a small unvoted tax rate. I'm also against any new assessments that speaks to the county's inability to control its spending. I'm also ready to stand up to organizations like AES and Centerpoint from consistently increasing their rates and robbing businesses of their profits and households of their paychecks. It is time for us to do something new in Montgomery County, and thank you very much for this time.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else wish to come on down and again state your name and address for our record, and we welcome you as well.
I'm Karen Bartley. I live at 129 Oak Knoll Avenue, and I'm here because Sam Dorff visited our archives for the Oakwood Historical Society this week, and I wanted to just make a few comments about that. First of all, we really appreciate the fact that you came and looked over everything. And I have to tell you that in 2019, Lee gave me a key to the archives. I knew nothing about the Oakwood Historical Society, but she knew I had a PhD in history, taught at UD, and she wanted me to revise a book that had been written by Harry Ebeling. And so I went to the archives, and it was a total mess. It just stacks and stacks of stuff. And this is not to disparage those people, but just they just piled up stuff everywhere, and I couldn't find anything to help me really with my research. Well, a couple years later, Deborah Edwards stepped into the picture, and she decided she was going to reorganize these archives. She has spent 5 years going through every pile of stuff, every file, every filing cabinet, photos, books. And in this whole process, we've discovered that we have some enormously important things, like first edition books that are signed by the authors, photographs. She gets out there with these little microphones, or what do you call them, microscopes, and she looks at all these pictures and figures out who's who, things like that. It's been amazing. And so now, after 5 years, we have an archive that's actually workable. We can do things. Our goal, I should back up, she and I visited the Centerville Historical Society archive a few years ago. They have filing cabinets with every address in the entire city of Centerville with a history of that property. And our goal is to do the same thing because we get questions every week or so. I read the emails that come into the Oakwood Historical Society website, and people will say, I want a history of my house. And Deborah does this for free. I've told her we should charge, and she goes, no, because it makes people happy. It makes them feel like a part of the community if they get this paragraph about who has owned their house over the period of time. So the goal is for us to create a file like that, and we've got a lot of them, but we got a long way to go yet. You know? But it's more than just the histories of houses. It's the history of the people who've lived here, the people who have contributed to this society. And all of this takes a little bit of money. And I'm not here to ask you for money. I'm just here to tell you that if, by chance, you happen to have a little bit extra, that would be great. Because it takes, archival boxes. We have these very valuable things that we've put in the proper kind of packaging. Deborah has bought flat, what do they call them, flat shelves, to store maps. We can't believe we have maps from the 1850s.
Wow.
Original maps, things like that. We actually, it turns out we have more newspapers created in Oakwood than Wright Library has. And so we're working on a collaboration with them so that we can have some sort of online portal so that people can go into their site or our site and access all these old newspapers and things like that. And I just want you to know, it's pretty wonderful. But I also want to tell you, just for the public record, that we've had a great number of volunteers who have worked with us. Ann Phoebus, our current president, has done work in there. Mary and Jose Aponte they've spent a whole year working on things in the archives. David Schmidt helps with all the house histories and different kinds of research. Judy Thompson spent 2 years transcribing all of the oral history records that people collected in the 1980s and early 90s. I've done a little bit of volunteering there. Larry Stockmeyer, I can't forget him. He shows up every Thursday and helps Deborah do all this stuff. So I just wanted you all to know It's great. And thank you for visiting, and we hope the rest of you come at some point.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know that, I think it was 38 years ago when I moved to Oakwood and bought my house from the Davis family, and a great Oakwood tradition is that's still the Davis home. I don't know how long I have to be gone from my house before it becomes the Duncan house, but I know that day is coming. Okay, very good. All right. Anyone else? Okay, I see none. So that will conclude our visitors section of our agenda. And we have some legislation, and Vice Mayor Byington has an ordinance.
Yes, Your Honor. This is an ordinance to amend Section 1 of the 2026 Original Appropriation Ordinance, number 5025, and any existing supplements thereto to provide for the appropriation of a multiple transfer from the self-funded insurance trust fund to the general fund, to the refuse fund, Smith Memorial Gardens Fund, street maintenance and repair fund, leisure activity fund, health fund, and water operating fund, effectively reallocating operating expenses of said trust funds as personal expenses of the various other funds for costs associated with offering traditional vision insurance as an employee benefit rather than a self-funded vision insurance program. That is all just the title of that ordinance. This is a second reading of a supplemental appropriation ordinance. For many years, the city has had a self-funded vision insurance program for its employees, and that program was included in the 2026 budget. However, we are transitioning to a traditional vision insurance plan, and this ordinance will allow us to reallocate the $11,500 from the self-funded insurance trust fund to the new plan. It doesn't change the city's overall expenditures for the year. So this is the second readings of this particular ordinance, and I move that council adopt it tonight.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any questions or comments for Vice Mayor Byington? Hearing none. Lori, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mrs. Turbin?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Dorf?
Yes.
And I believe Councilmember Jackson also has an ordinance.
Yes, Mayor. This is an ordinance to change or to create a new chapter in the Streets and Public Service Code. It's entitled Chapter 909, Programmed Work Zones of the Street and Public Services Code. So each year, the Public Works Department focuses on different areas of the city for the sidewalk, curb, and driveway apron program. It's an annual program to replace and maintain concrete infrastructure and public rights of way. We rotate through several areas over a period of years, ensuring that all areas of the city are maintained on a regular schedule. Since the program is partly funded by assessments, there are legislative requirements that council must meet in order to specifically identify the areas in which work will be performed. This means that each year, council must adopt multiple pieces of legislation, repeatedly listing the many streets in which work will be performed. We can simplify that. So to do that, to simplify this annual legislative process, the city engineer has recommended that we adopt a new chapter in the Streets and Public Services Code to specifically identify the zones in which the work will be done, rather than listing all the streets by name. This will streamline the legislation, and we will need only to refer to the new chapter and note that the work will be performed in work zone 1 or 2 or 7 and 8. So the motion tonight is that this is the first reading of the ordinance, and I move that council waive the second reading and adopt it tonight so that it can take effect in time for this year's sidewalk, curb, and driveway apron program legislation, which will be introduced at our April meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions for Councilmember Jackson? Hearing none, and because we're asking to waive the second meeting, it would require a 4/5 vote of council, and I would ask Lori to call the roll.
Mayor Duncan?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Byington?
Yes.
Mrs. Turbin?
Yes.
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Dorf?
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes our legislation this evening. We do have a very informative report from our finance department, and Marilee Leonard is here, our finance director, coming up on your one-year anniversary, I think. And we welcome you to give your first report to council.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, and Vice Mayor, and Council. Good evening, members of our audience. Tonight, I'd like to provide you with an update on how we're modernizing the finance department, not simply by upgrading software, but by transforming how we work, strengthening stewardship, and positioning finance as a strategic partner to the organization and community. We ask, why modernize finance? Well, local government is becoming more complex. Expectations for transparency are increasing, and decision-making requires real-time, reliable data. Historically, many finance processes were manual, paper-based, and reactive. By leveraging technology to serve the community better, modernization allows us to reduce repetitive work and improve our processes, improve accuracy and controls, provide timely insights to leadership, increase transparency to the public, and these efforts ensure that finance supports not just compliance, but strategy. Modernization starts with our team. We are upskilling staff in analytics and digital tools, encouraging innovation and continuous process improvement, reducing manual repetitive tasks, creating more engaging strategic roles. And when we move from routine manual processing, we allow staff to focus on value-added activities, including cross-training and long-term planning. This shift improves both performance and employee engagement. Finance is a strategic partner. Finance is evolving from a transactional processor to a strategic advisor. We're providing support to our department heads with financial planning with real-time data, providing stronger long-term financial forecasting, aligning financial decisions with council priorities, contributing to long-term sustainability planning. This positions finance as a partner in shaping the community's future. So just to talk about some of our current modernization projects. I know you guys have heard a lot about this already, but our employee portal is an important step in modernizing our internal operations. Currently, about half of our city's employees are submitting their timesheets via the employee portal. Currently, we're in phase 2 of the departmental time entry for our public safety officers and our public works hourly employees. And, I'm sorry. Forgot that slide. And the portal provides our staff with secure, centralized access to payroll and HR related information. So we're shifting to a self-service functionality. By reducing manual administrative tasks, we improve accuracy and provide employees with quicker access to the information they need, such as online access to pay stubs, time off requests, and leave balance tracking. Also, access to secure documents and tax forms can be accessed through the portal. This initiative supports operational efficiency while also improving the overall employee experience. We've also begun to digitize our accounts payable processes. What we began with was a completely manual process. We had paper invoices, physical approvals with the old stamp, and then routed it with an envelope, right? So that was very limited as far as the tracking visibility. Well, today, our invoices are submitted electronically, approvals are automated through the appropriate workflows, and we have a complete digital audit trail, which simplifies our audit processes, and it provides our vendors payment faster. The benefits of this are reduced processing time, increased transparency, stronger internal controls, improved vendor relationships, And this foundational improvement strengthens both efficiency and accountability. The implementation of city tax represents another important modernization step. This system improves how we administer municipal income taxes by introducing electronic filing, online payments, and a secure taxpayer portal. Operationally, it reduces manual processing, strengthens controls, and improves reporting capabilities. And for our residents, it provides a more convenient, efficient, and transparent experience. This project strengthens both compliance and customer service while supporting our long-term operational sustainability. We're also working to implement a digital interactive budget book. This represents our final 2025 modernization project we are bringing to fruition. Once completed, the budget will be online and fully searchable. We'll have the ability to update the data in real time. The data will be supported by visual dashboards and graphics, and it'll be accessible to both council and the public. This initiative significantly enhances transparency and accessibility. It allows residents to better understand how resources are allocated and connects financial decisions to community priorities. Bringing this project to fruition marks an important milestone in our 2025 modernization efforts. We have a couple planned future modernization projects. These were built into the 2026 budget, which was approved by council. Our first one is moving the ERP to the cloud. ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. The city uses SSI or Software Solutions, Inc. And so our IT contractor actually had recommended that this transition occur years ago. So here we are, but I did receive a very timely article this morning from SSI, and it's our cybersecurity for local governments, why public agencies are migrating to a cloud-based ERP software. And there's a lot of reasons here. With improved security, we have identity and access management. We know who is accessing what and when, which is fundamental to security. We have data protection and encryption. This is both at rest and in transit, as well as continuous monitoring and incident response. And this is catching threats before they escalate. As far as the disaster recovery and business continuity, having a cloud-based system makes sure you can actually recover it if something does go wrong. System scalability. The cloud environment will allow you to grow into a system that can be accessed in remote locations. All servers have a limit to how much data they can store. The cloud allows you to continuously scale into an environment that won't take a hit on performance when more and more information is uploaded into it, especially with our AP automation. Everything is being uploaded, so we're having a lot more data actually within our ERP. And even on site, some of the reports that we run are taking forever. It just spins and spins, while it's generating. So this is going to really speed up some of the report running process. It also reduces hardware maintenance. The system will automatically push out updates and improvements after hours as Software Solutions releases them. And these updates will not rely on a server, therefore running into issues with specifications of the server. These updates are not just functionality improvements, but they're also security improvements and different patches as well. And finally, it'll have an improved remote access capability, supporting a decentralized access model. This creates a more resilient and adaptable financial infrastructure. Another one I'm really excited about is the budgeting and analytics module. This is already within our ERP, but we would want to go to the cloud first, and then we could implement this budgeting and analytics module. That way they only have to do the spin up once. But the budgeting and analytics module supports long-term forecasting, as well as scenario modeling and position-based budgeting. It provides real-time dashboards and an automated report distribution function as well as supports data-driven decision-making. This really would help us shift from a reactive reporting to proactive planning. Just to highlight, again, some of the key benefits of modernization. First is increased efficiency and cost savings. By automating our manual processes, we reduce the time spent on repetitive administrative tasks, and over time, that translates into lower operational costs and better use of staff resources. Second, it enhances accuracy. Automating reduces the likelihood of human error and strengthens financial controls. This improves reliability in reporting and strengthens overall fiscal stewardship. Third, it has improved compliance and risk management. Digital systems create a digital audit trail and improve regulatory alignment. This reduces organizational risk as well as enhances accountability. Fourth is faster decision-making. With real-time financial data and improved reporting tools, leadership can respond more quickly and confidently to emerging needs or challenges. And finally, talent management. Modernization allows our team to shift focus from transactional processing to strategic value-added work. This strengthens our internal expertise as well as provides long-term organizational capacity. Overall, these benefits position finance as a stronger operational partner and strategic advisor to the organization. Modernization is not simply about upgrading systems. It's about transforming how we work, empowering our team, strengthening stewardship, building long-term sustainability. And by doing all those things, finance is evolving into a strategic partner in shaping our community's future. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
I just had one. You mentioned that about half the staff is using the portal now. Do you have any initial reactions? How long have they been using it, and what are the initial reactions to that?
Yeah, so we actually started rolling it out at the end of December.
Okay.
We've just kind of picked up more departments as the rollouts come or been going on, and the reactions have been very positive. I think everybody has liked it so far. It's very intuitive. It's a web-based product. You're just putting in your hours, selecting, from drop-downs. And so I have not heard any negative feedback. So it's all been very positive, especially with our payroll clerk, who is just really pleased with it. She is able just to import it, and, it saves her a lot of hours processing. So.
And do you have an idea of how long it's going to take to get everybody up to speed?
So the second part is part of the departmental time entry, and so our lieutenants are actually going to be inputting the timesheets for our public safety officers, which that part is going to be very straightforward. The issue is with our public works employees clocking in and out, and we're working with easy clocking. So we have to be able to get easy clocking to code the export correctly.
Okay.
So that's where our delay is with that. So we are hoping to have that just kind of worked through within the next 2 months, I would say. And then we would be able to have everybody on the employee portal. So everybody is on the employee portal as far as doing the leave requests.
Yeah.
But it's the actual, timesheet processing that we're still delayed on and working through those details.
Thank you so much. I have a question about, so it seems like a lot of these programs are internal facing, but some of them are external facing. And I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about education and how you're hoping to educate the community, especially, e-file seems pretty, a lot of people e-file already.
Right.
And I'm excited by the digital budget book. And, I was just wondering if you've considered ways in which we can help educate citizens on how to use it, how to navigate it, what things mean, why they should look at it. Partnering with, I don't know if you consider partnering with the library or other ways to help get the word out about this really exciting tool.
Yeah, well, thank you. No, we're excited about it too. we were probably trying to figure out some way to get those communications out when we're closer to having that project completed. And so, our current methods are doing an article in the Register and usually in the Oakwood Scene, as well as just updating our website. And I think we do have our standard users that are oftentimes, already on our finance page looking at our monthly financials. And so I think those are going to kind of be our target audience, but we'll certainly try to get the messaging out there as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Other questions? All right. Well, I know that council got paid last week, so things must be going fine.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that.
I needed $96.
Yes, that's right. And when we say don't spend it all in one place, that's hard not to do. Okay. Thank you very much, Mary Lee. We appreciate it. All right. That next is our city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Mary Lee. Well done. In collaboration with the Oakwood Inclusion Committee, the Oakwood City School District, and the Wright Library, the city is excited to launch the Blue Envelope program. This initiative reflects a shared commitment to creating a safer and more supportive environment for drivers with disabilities during traffic stops. A special thank you to the Oakwood Inclusion Committee for bringing this initiative forward, to council for supporting the initiative and let us work on this to bring this to the community, to the Wright Library and to the Oakwood City Schools for jumping in without hesitation to support the initiative, and of course to our public safety group and Chief Hill for investigating this, doing all the research, and bringing the initiative to life. Blue envelope packets can be picked up both at the Wright Library and in the Public Safety Department, and additional information is also available on the city website. Oakwood's annual New Resident Breakfast is scheduled for Saturday, March 14th from 9 to noon at the Oakwood Community Center. Staff will be serving a delicious pancake breakfast as well as some other favorite breakfast items. All new residents are encouraged to attend. We have some entertainment scheduled, as long as a few short presentations from local leaders, including our very own Mayor Bill Duncan, new Judge Molly Stitzinger, and of course some of our community partners like Wright Library. So please come, encourage new residents to come. It's an excellent chance to connect, learn about city services, and learn and get to know what makes Oakwood such a great community. Thank you, Mayor. That's all my updates.
Any questions for our city manager? All right. Hearing none, we will go to council comments, and we'll start with Councilmember Dorff.
Thank you. Speaking of Judge Molly Stitzinger, I had the honor of sitting right here on Thursday, last Thursday, and observing Oakwood City Court. And I just wanted to share that I found the whole team in the courts really exceptional. And I just want to thank them for their care, for the people who appear before the court, and it was just really evident that they're here to help navigate the justice system with dignity and care for everybody who comes before our court. So I just want to thank them for that.
And just to confirm, you were an observer and not a defendant.
I was just an observer. I wasn't there for anything, this time.
Thank you.
We'll see next week.
All right. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor. My thoughts and prayers are for anyone, particularly Oakwood residents, who have a direct connection with someone involved in the U.S. military operations in the Middle East. I think we all feel that. I also want to comment that next Monday, March 9th at 7 o'clock, the school superintendent, Neil Gupta, will be giving the State of the School address in the high school band room. Now, Oakwood schools play a central role in our community, and many families have moved here because of the high regard for our schools. But even if you don't have children, the decisions made by the school board and the superintendent still impact everyone. So I encourage all residents to join, to come to this important meeting. It's really an investment in our community. And finally, I do want to say how thrilling it is that a person came to the city council meeting, suggested a program, and a few months later, our city manager has made that program, the Blue Envelope, a reality. And with total comprehensive study of it and then a good rollout of it. So that's a message. If you have something you want to contribute, come to a city council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Turbin.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Well, my message this evening is for the parents of all of the children that have e-bikes and motorized bikes and scooters at all. You know, with spring approaching, it's a good time to remind our children of the laws that we have in place to keep them safe. Please remind them when they are riding on the street, they have to obey the same laws that the manual bikes have to follow. They have to obey all the street signs, stop at stop signs, stop at stoplights, obey the speed limit. And they should also ride on the far right if they can, and only 2 abreast. And if they ride on the sidewalk, they have to disengage the motor. That is a state law. And so learning and obeying these laws is really important, especially now with all of the interest and the popularity of e-bikes. So please remind your children, and above all, stay safe.
Vice Mayor Byington.
I will just say that, tonight we selected some folks, some citizens to various different committees. I think we are very fortunate in the city of Oakwood to have people who have a very broad range of experiences and talents that they can bring to our city. I know that after we had our article in the Oakwood Register, there was an outpouring of the number of people who have applied to be on various different committees. I would say just continue to do that. And particularly if you're actually watching this council meeting right now, get your application in, because we can definitely use the brightest folks that we have out there to help us in making decisions with policies, all those different things. And if we don't have a committee for you now, we'll find something else for you to do, trust me. So please keep those applications coming in.
Thank you. I'd like to also follow up a little bit about our Budget Review Committee, and I'm hoping that you can reach out to them as you roll out a lot of your process improvements, especially budget related. The Budget Review Committee normally meets about 4 times a year. We normally have our first meeting in May to see where we're at through getting through tax season, and then gives the council advice and consent on our budgeting process for 2027, which we will start probably in July or August. But so we look forward to that. But in addition to the people that we reappointed tonight, as well as the new members, there was one particular person who is stepping down from the Budget Review Committee that I'd like to personally honor or recognize. His name was Howard Booz, and Howard served on our Budget Review Committee for 32 years. And he's going to be stepping down this year. And some of you may or may not know that back in the day, he was the voice of the Oakwood soccer team at the press box, announcing who was playing and who made goals. And I think he was not shy about letting council know if we were spending money recklessly. So I was always happy for Howard's advice. Sometimes I agreed with him, sometimes I didn't, but he was truly a citizen of Oakwood and was always thinking about the best use for tax dollars in our city and how we keep it to be the premier residential community in the Miami Valley. So, Howard, I told you to come here and I'd give you this speech, but you'll just have to watch it on Channel 6, which is must-see TV, as we all know. Right. So, our next regular meeting is on April 6th, and we are adjourned.